celebrate all of our graduates. Before we kind of kick things off, we do have our own WEI personal media presence here so that we can snap some photos. If you do not want your photo posted, please talk to Miss Khadija here so that she can make sure we don't post your image. Your name, of course, will not be affiliated with any image, but we just would love to take photos and celebrate this occasion on our website and on social media. With that being said, I will pass it off to our leader, Mr.
This is County Prosecutor Bill Reynolds.
County Prosecutor Bill Reynolds. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, good afternoon, everyone. That would be the part where you say good afternoon back.
Good afternoon.
Awesome. So, coming over here today, I was trying to think of what would be an appropriate address for a program that never existed before that we kind of created. And we created with the assistance of WEI and Carrie Pettis and John Kufos were kind of our connectors to get here. And it's like, what are the most appropriate remarks for a program that really doesn't exist anywhere else in the country, and that we've created from scratch based on a vision of a bunch of like-minded people just getting in a room and on a Zoom call, and then in a room saying, how can we make a difference in people's lives that just need an opportunity? So one of the things, and I want to give credit to our executive assistant, Prosecutor Rick McKelvey, when I asked Rick, what do you think about this, and brought Rick into it, Rick immediately answered is yes. And one of the reasons why I like to tell how to start with Rick with the answer yes is where Rick and I both align is that we try to find the way to yes for every initiative and every person that we deal with in the criminal justice system in Atlantic County to give an opportunity simply to make a difference in people's lives, right? It's very easy to say no to things. You say no, and it doesn't require any more effort. When you say yes, even when it's a person that's coming into a diversion program, the answer yes requires a lot more work to resolve that case favorably than going to court, maybe being set on probation or some type of non-custodial sentence, right? So to get to yes, how do we get to yes? Well, the authority that's lied in the New Jersey State Constitution with the County Prosecutor's Office gives us the ability to create these things. And we have really talented people like Rick that matched up with WEI figured out how do we get to the yes, right? So why is it relevant to today? Rick gave me some stats today regarding that when we went live with this program in 2024, we've had 27 people say yes to go into the program. We've successfully completed now 12 people out of the 27, and 13 are still in the program, still engaged, and only 2 failed to complete the program. I'm going to respectfully say that percentages are extremely positive and much better than almost every one of our other diversion programs that we have in Atlantic County, which is a testament to the people who are handling it, right? And with us today is Lynn Heyer, who's our Chief Assistant Prosecutor of Diversion. And Lynn, to her credit, we created a diversion unit. And then we created the Chief Assistant Prosecutor position of the diversion unit for Lynn to take over. And Lynn, with the help of Matt Rogers from our office, with Rick's supervision, created this program and are executing the program. So with that being said, to all the people who participated and graduates and family members, we thank you. Thank you for saying yes and being a part of it. And in addition to all of that, this is one, I think, promise that I can make as the prosecutor in Atlantic County is, as long as our administration is in the position of authority in Atlantic County, we're going to do everything in our power to get the yes for as many people as we possibly can. Because what we really want to see is people be members of the community and be contributing members of the community, both in their family and in the community where they're living, maybe raising children, or being a participant in community events. And with the utmost gratitude and humility, I have to tell you, is that this was just like an idea a few years ago. based on a phone call and a text message. And to see 12 people successfully complete it and 27 people being involved in it is really amazing, because it went from an idea, a text message, a phone call, to a Zoom call, to changing people's lives and creating a program that doesn't really exist anywhere else in the country. And it's the power of yes. And for as long as we're here, our answer will be yes. So thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to participate, and to everybody who's graduating and involved in the program, I wish you the best of luck. And if there's anything that we can ever do for you, we are here. We like to see the aftermath of the yes as well. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Prosecutor Reynolds. I just want to reiterate how grateful we are to the partnership with Atlanta County Prosecutor's Office. We truly could not do this work without you. Being a national remote nonprofit, we are so incredibly grateful by how welcomed we have been into Atlantic City. We're so happy to be here, and the partnerships that we've built with probation, with community partners, with you all, the great work from Ms. Khadijah here. It really takes a team effort to do the work we do, and we just appreciate each of you so much. With that being said, the celebration of today is, of course, with our graduates. What we're going to do today is really keep the spotlight on them. I'm going to give you kind of some background information on what our program is that we do with them, to kind of highlight their accomplishments, everything that they've successfully completed in reaching this point of graduation. I'm then going to pass it to Prosecutor McKelvey to give some of the background significance from the legal side, and then we will call each of the graduates up here one by one to really celebrate them. So a little background information on the Alternative Prosecution of Positive Outcomes program. We kind of began the back legwork of the program in 2023. As Prosecutor Reynolds mentioned, we didn't get our first referral until 2024. Initially, we really prioritized individuals between the age range of 18 to 26. We've since then been able to expand that age range some to as young as 13 and upward, as long as individuals are meeting our criteria. And we get these referrals from 3 sources. Of course, through individuals who are facing pending indictable charges, through APPO charges meeting certain criteria, graves waiver individuals we can accept, and individuals on probation now we're accepting. Adults average around 6 months or so in the program, and in that time, they complete between 19 to 24 sessions on average. It is an individualized program, so there is some tailoring to each person's situation, causing a little bit of fluctuation. Our program is a trauma-responsive program, which really means that beyond providing evidence-based clinical practices that are shown to respond to processing and healing trauma, we really have these 3 components at our core. So establishing safety, number 1, connection and trust. What I love about our program is we don't just teach participants how to build connection with the community, with their peers. Positive peer engagement, positive family, social engagement is of course really important, but we also teach our folks how to be more connected to who they are, understand themselves, what are their goals, what's going on for them. And after you reach that level, you can really go to the 3rd level, which is getting those skills, those coping skills, different strategies on how to respond in situations, life skills, things like that. So why do we do this? We do this, we have this trauma responsive program with this goal of expanding someone's window of tolerance. So window of tolerance is something we all have. It's kind of our ability to remain in kind of a ideal state without getting hyper aroused or hypo aroused when life throws things at us. So the idea is individuals who have PTSD, individuals who have an increased amount of trauma, sustained psychological distress, your window of tolerance is actually smaller, and we can actually see this in brain scans even. So So a program that addresses this works to expand someone's window of tolerance so that it takes more for them to go into one of these states. Hyperarousal is you're getting anxious, angry, really intense, overwhelmed. Hypoarousal, you're spaced out, you're zoned out, you're numb. And it's really beyond your control to what your body responds in that situation. But the idea is we want people to have strategies and skills where what it takes for them to get into that, it takes longer. So to give kind of some snapshot of what's involved in the curriculum, we have a lot of psychoeducation, so a lot of understanding your triggers, a lot of understanding cues in your body. We're really big on breathing techniques, grounding techniques, coping skills. We have sessions to talk about communication skills, how to express anger, dealing with anger in relationships, and a lot of goal setting and value exploration too. Integrated into all of this is meta-meditation. So meta-meditation is also called loving kindness meditation. It is a little bit different than kind of the stereotypical meditation that encourages you to sit quietly and have your mind empty and maybe focus on what you're feeling in your body. Meta-meditation, it teaches you to repeat a phrase, and that becomes kind of an offering. And what it does, it's supposed to teach a kind of self-compassion and compassion and connection towards others. So you start with a phrase about yourself, going, I wish peace on myself, health on myself. And eventually you work up to a friend, an acquaintance, and eventually an enemy. So rather than us sitting here and doing a meditation together, I just wanted to show you a very short couple-minute video that explains a little bit of the background of it, since it is so integral to our program, and all of our therapists teach our participants how to do it. So,
People have some sort of squeamishness around it. Why do you think that is?
I think the word is odd to begin with. I think in general we have an association with love, with kindness, as sort of secondary virtues. And I often think, the culture tells us if you can't be brilliant, you can't be courageous, and you can't be wonderful. It's like, okay, be kind, it's nice, it's not great, but it's good.
So do you think people think that there's a weakness inherent in being kind or compassionate?
A weakness and a foolishness, like you're going to be kind of stupid and gullible, and you sort of ignore that. You let people hurt you, and you just sort of smile, or you let other people be hurt or abused or oppressed, and kind of smile. I think people really deep down think it makes you kind of stupid, but I think it is of greatness. I think that if we recollect somebody who's been really kind to us in a genuine way in our lives, we don't think of them with contempt, like they pull one over on you. It's with quite a lot of gratitude. And I don't think we begin to understand the strength and the power and the force of those qualities.
My concern was that it's just so touchy-feely, ooey-gooey, squishy, that it just made me uncomfortable. It just felt like something that I would get lectured about in kindergarten. And that I ignored anyway, but I didn't have a jerk. But the thing that really turned me around, there are a number of things that really turned me around, but one of them is the science.
What the science shows us is that qualities like loving kindness or compassion actually make us happier, and that means we're more resilient, and we have more inner resource, and we can hang in there in very difficult situations in a much more sustained way. And so some of the most interesting science, I think, has to do with people in very stressful situations, stress responders, caregivers, things like that, and to understand that these are very adverse circumstances where you're seeing a lot of suffering, and we need a sense of inner resource to be able to continue on to your work.
I mean, that goes right to the point, rather than being a weakness, what the science is showing us is that compassion, loving kindness is actually a strength.
Yeah.
In fact, for people who aren't first responders or doctors or in jobs where you run the risk of empathy burnout, there are studies that show that compassion makes you healthier, happier, more popular, and more successful. So this is, if you're interested in being a high achiever in any way, this stuff, as really it may seem on the surface, is actually super important. Let's talk about the actual practice. Okay, so this is a different kind of practice than mindfulness meditation, although they are related and complementary. So just walk us through the basics of what this practice entails.
Sit comfortably, eyes open or closed, however you feel most at ease. Choose certain phrases like, may I be safe, be happy, be healthy, live with ease, and begin repeating them silently over and over again. And then maybe the third step is to understand that there will be several different applications, and that we offer this to ourselves, we offer it to other people,
Okay. That kind of gives a little bit of the background of it, I feel like, and I love that she emphasizes the resilience that can come out of it. That is Dr. Sharon, I'm going to totally butcher her last name, but she's the founder of it. If you're interested, if you want to do meditation, feel free to email me. I'm happy to send you some of her links. She has a TED Talk, things like that. So the outside of the trauma responsive clinical practice that our therapists do, our program also involves case management, support for families, a more high intensity trauma response clinical practice called eye movement desensitization reprocessing, EMDR. This is for folks who want to do additional trauma processing. We can have this be a part of their programming. So currently we have these three components, a part of our programming. Case management, Ms. Khadijah is the star behind that, connecting folks to resources, and then also making sure that they have kind of ongoing connections to the supports they need to have their goals come true. So this could be connection to school, employment, things like that. Support for families is programming that we can actually do with family members. We can do with friends, people in your close, immediate social circle who might benefit from also having some support. So we can provide that. And then I'm really excited to announce that coming soon, we're in the works of setting up a ongoing group for people who have already graduated and completed the programming. We want to continue to get together and we can have a space to do that. So that's coming down the pipeline. That's kind of the program in a little bit of a snapshot and what our graduates went through. We're so proud of them, and I'd like to pass it off to Prosecutor McKelvey to talk about kind of the legal significance.
Thank you. Just want to start, as I think you should kind of always start with, which is, I got to be on camera? Okay. With gratitude to all the different people and organizations that had to be involved to make this possible, because the criminal justice system by its nature doesn't work unilaterally. There's so many components to it. So starting with my office, my agency, and the support of my boss to take this idea and run with it and create something, like you said, that's never been put in practice before. And our staff, like Lynn and Mike, who review the cases as they come in, work really quickly, keep track of them, is so important. Then you've got to convince defense attorneys that this is something good for their client, and actually a good opportunity. And so you got to thank them as well. And you got to thank the court system, because this is new to everybody. It's new to the court system. They don't know what this is, but they gave us the grace and they gave us the opportunity to run with this, to prove that it's worthwhile. And a big part of that is thanks to probation. There's some probation officers here. Even though this isn't a probation program, we're actually sort of taking business away from them because we're not putting people on probation. But they've been supportive of it from the start. because I think they've seen that, that every little bit is kind of hopeful. And so we've gotten a lot of advice and input from them as well. But most of all, we got to thank WEI because they introduced the concept of trauma as a driver of crime to New Jersey. Nobody is talking about it like that. Everybody's talking about substance abuse. Everybody's talking about mental health. Nobody was talking about trauma until WEI educated us. And I think that we're really at the start of something major. And that when you come back here in 5 years and 10 years, this is going to be a much more filled room. And that every county in the state is going to be talking about it or something like that. So, what's the impact of this program on you, on its participants? It's dismissal. For those of you that were in the straight APPO diversion program, dismissal means an expungement, and that means that case basically for the purposes of most of your job applications or anything like that never happened. It means, of course, that no more court appearances, no more lawyers, no more court, and hopefully, thanks to this program and what they're going to implement in the future with the aftercare, that it means continue to support even when you don't have to do it as a court-imposed or prosecutor-imposed program. So its impact in the short term is just that. It's a deal. You want your case dismissed, complete this program, and that's what all of you have done and done successfully. And we're proud of that. It involves something that that nobody else in the criminal justice system has, which is a lot of discretion. Police officer can choose to arrest you or not, but once a charge is filed, a judge, a defense attorney, nobody else but a prosecutor can actually look at a case and choose to dismiss it and just sort of cut a person loose. And so what that means is that if we choose to exercise our discretion through a program like this, it means that we're taking a risk that we don't have to take. But we take the risk because we have confidence that it's the right thing to do and that we have the science behind it to put people in a better position than when we found them. Again, I think we're at the start of something big. I thank you for being part of it because I know it was probably unclear exactly what it entailed and exactly why you're there and why it was different than the regular stuff that other people have gone through. But thank you for trusting this process. Thank you, WEI, for guiding us through it. And we really wish everybody that did this program the best in the future. So thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Khadija Muhammad. I'm the community liaison/case manager. So I am boots on the ground. I work a lot with participants and helping them meet the gaps in their social economic barriers that they're facing throughout being in this program. I don't want you guys to misconfuse the empty seats with there's a lack of impact. I just think there's a lack of flex time for a lot of our community partners. Because their involvement and them believing in this program and what it does to the community and truly seeing, those get a true second chance to not just address a charge or a mistake or something that can look down upon, but a true second chance to be able to relieve trauma that they didn't even know was trauma initially. You don't know how many of our participants say, I don't have trauma, and then they realize through their first session that I do have trauma in my life, and there is a reason why I may be so angry or I may be so reactive, and I wanted to come at peace with that. And I think that a lot of our participants can say, consciously or unconsciously, they have been able to come to peace with a lot of their past and their mistakes and the things that they want to let go to become a better person. So without further ado, I'm going to start introducing the participants that are present. I thank you guys for coming out because it is later in the day. I know you guys have jobs, but this celebration is about you more than anything. So we can start. Okay, So, not here, but Isaiah Butler is one of our participants who have graduated today. Miguel Adams, Nika Tolbert, she will be coming later, but she's one of our graduates that was able to further her education after completing this program because she got her work rate expunged. She's now in school for beauty. She wants to become an esthetician. Trayvon Brickhouse, after completing this program, he has gained enough courage to gain his LLC. He's not sure what avenue he wants to take with it, but being in this program gave him the motivation to continue forward. Yasin Baker, he's actually present here. He graduated. This is one of our participants who has been very motivated. He is actually working with Atlantic Care as Christian Ransom. I think he might have stepped out, but he is working with Atlantic Care in their dietitian department, and he's looking to actually come on board as a PCA, so a patient care assistant. And I hope that they give him a chance. Did you get the chance yet? Not yet, but he's still working towards it, and he's doing good. So you can come up and get your certificate.
You want a picture?
Trevor Johnson is not here, but he is also another participant who actually got his GED actively while being in this program. He was able to mend a lot of his gaps in his relationship within his family, and his grandmother was very active in support for families and gained a lot from being in that program. Murad Barley Stokes, he's actually here. Murad may not know, but I have known him since he's been a child when I was a teacher in one aspect of my life, and I had him as from 4th to I think 7th or 8th grade, and now he's graduating from WEI. Congratulations. And he's also going to school. He's going to Ideal. He has decided to go to Ideal for an electrician. Right, Murad? Great job. She's also here as well. One of her biggest accomplishments that she wanted to strive for is independence, and she's working her way towards that, whether it's getting a home, maintaining her own job. Congratulations, you did it. You're welcome. Not here. He currently works at one of the casinos, so a lot of his time is tied up with that schedule. And congratulations. Great. If you guys would like to eat.
We have food and drink. Please help yourself. Thank you again so much for coming, all of you for showing up and being a part of the celebration with us. We really appreciate it. And to our graduates.
So, do you want a group picture?
Oh, yeah.
With the presenters? Is everybody else? Is there any other people? Is there any other people you want to picture with?
Yeah.